Well, let's get down to business. We have some things to do here. Normally, I'd have the usual announcements and such, but it's already almost 9 o'clock, and I wanted to hop into it, go over what it is that we have here, and what we're going to be putting over here, and including something that we forgot on last night's character. So we are going to continue. Hey, Ravenstar, we're going to continue with our character building. We're going to see the methodology, and we'll see what another level 12 character looks like. Enough to make sure that we're getting some of the mechanics in, and we're getting an idea for the methodology. Last night, we were taking an initial approach to making a character, sort of poking and prodding at it. And then in the second half, we sat down and we made a character. And I was doing a lot of hemming and hawing and saying, certainly character creation is more streamlined here in this version. But it lacks a lot of, I guess, prompts. It does want you to think about the background of the character, but the backgrounds don't work quite the same or don't contain the same prompts. For many of you that are either currently watching or are watching in the future, hello YouTube and Rumble and whatever. What was my point going to be here? Oh yeah, for many of you who are watching, there's a very good chance that you don't need random tables. You don't need random tables in order to create a character. You may very well have an idea already in mind for the character that you'd like to play. You have notions of, ideals are, that's a nice part. Hopefully flaws and shortcomings for your character, because that's where your character truly shines. Pardon me. So a lot of that was cut out here for the sake of expediency. Now, for someone like me, I enjoy having something that, even if it wasn't widely used, and I'm sure that this decision was made on the feedback from maybe convention goers or D&D Beyond data that was harvested. And there may very well have been many people who never really paid attention to the ideals, bonds, and flaws, or was actively using the background feature because it didn't necessarily have some sort of hard mechanical benefit, which you see here. The backgrounds give you hard mechanical benefits, and there's kind of a prompt to say, you sold stuff, and so where do you go from there? That's a major, reduction of things, but I feel like by removing the prompts, it can shortchange. This is great at onboarding new players. I think it shortchanges the creation and the creativity. And there's a lot of people who have. I say this neutrally, okay? I say this neutrally. Unless it was a clickbait stunt, Ginny D, who is a prolific D&D content creator, has never read the Dungeon Master's Guide. Now, I'm not saying that to pick on her. She has way more money than I ever will, and more fame and clicks and everything else. I mean, bless her for it. Secure your bag, ma'am. Um, but I think that points out that there's a lot of people in positions of influence. I don't want to say like power, but there's a lot of people, and I guess cynically extract that to anything else you'd like, who don't know the rules. They've not read the rules. Not that you need an encyclopedic understanding, but I'm glad she made the video she did, because that Dungeon Master's Guide, and if you've hung out here in the channel, you see we've cracked it open. We've poured through it. We've done a lot of talking about the optional rules that have always been in there since 10 years ago, about all the neat stuff that it has. And so, you know, bless her for encouraging people, bringing her on that journey, bringing them on the journey with her of, this book has existed for 10 years and maybe we should take a look at it. And it's there, yet you'll find boundless creativity. I mean, she's popular in the D&D circle for various reasons. You know, it's not that she's not creative, she is. You got to be creative, at least in part, to flourish in this space. And so she didn't need to reference that book all the time. But it's there, and this has now given her something to come back and 10 years later read through and maybe find a whole new... Like, say, I've been playing the game for 10 years. I mean, all I know, she's been playing the older editions longer. But I've been playing this for at least 10 years. This is like a whole new game. with the different approaches, the different things that were in there. But that's because there's always more to consider with a rule book like the DMG. Even if you're primarily a player, if you get the Dungeon Master's Guide, that can aid you in so much. Give you tons of things to consider. So, for the sake of, I don't know, speed or efficiency, you know, in trusting people to come up with their own background stuff, I get that. I think it's a disservice not to have the prompts to think about here, because even if people don't use them actively, they still are helping to create a particular margin of thought, or to expand the field of thought that can come out of this book. So when it's taken away, it might feel tighter, but that first character we made, going through the process, felt very shallow. It felt like saying, the example I used was, you know, you have big boobs, so clearly you're attractive, or you're smart, or you have patience or a great personality, simply because of the size of one of your stats. And in this workshop, and I'm not saying that that's what WotC was implying with this. It felt kind of like that surface level judgment, which was really kind of grating. You know, that it is surface level, but I want to explore that a little bit more. So we're gonna make a character by the book. We're just gonna go with, I guess, a quick and dirty, and we'll see what we come up with. And because we have imaginations, we have minds, we can come up with something, given what we have. But this is a lot more mechanical. And you know what? If you already have these ideas for characters, this might be a super quick and efficient way to make more characters. And there you go. This might be exactly what it is that you need. When I'm presenting thoughtful character building, and especially if I'm trying to showcase all of the features of a product, by not having that sort of stuff here, I can't show it off here, especially if the content that's in here feels really gross. To someone who likes being more mindful and working with what we have. Now, that doesn't disqualify this book. It doesn't mean that the mechanics are bad. It doesn't mean that this book isn't worth the paper it's printed on. This is still a solid book. This book is presented differently. I will still sing the praises that this book is very well organized. And we can hem and haw over character methodology or what was or wasn't carried over. Or, you know, is it better that they just trust the player to come up with something? Because I can see that. But I want to get a little deeper. And so what we'll do is we will take our methodology that we've been using for the past 6 years, and with a little bit of a conversion cheat sheet, let's try making a 2024 character using the prompts about personality, ideal, bond, and flaw that are carried over from the old new edition, not the new edition. And so we'll have some fun with it, right? Right. All right, I spent 10 minutes talking. This was a good build-up. I want to lay the foundation. I want to make at least 2 characters tonight with you all, okay? I want to make at least 2 characters. You can see what we're going to do to try and outline them. And then we will put the... we'll lay everything out. Sorry, there's a message that I'm replying to. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. All right. There are 2 things, or a couple things in brackets. If we're gonna multi-class, that's something. It is a part. They want you to consider your class first, so we will. We're gonna just do it by the book. There's a couple extra steps that I need to break out, and that's what is in brackets here. We'll go over that quickly. So, Zulerpie, why don't you get us going? Why don't you get us going with a D100 roll in chat, please? And for anyone else who's hanging out, let me know you're here, or spend your workshop points to secure a roll on the character. Alright, so we're making a single class character. And now it's time to determine what that is. Ravenstar, may I please have a D12 rolled in chat? Coffee Cat, if you're still here, I'll call on you also. Lands on a 9. All right, Ravenstar, roll a D4, please. All right, Coffee Cat, I need you to roll 2d8, please. All right, odd. So odd is the first 8, even is the second set of 8. So we are taking the 6th option. We're taking the 6th option. Pardon, in backgrounds. All right, if no one else has spoken up, let's cycle back up to the top. Zulerpie, could I get another percentile roll, please? All right, Ravenstar, could I get a 1d10 roll, please? All right, now, ability scores. This has a page reference. And that's because in order to make quick characters, the book just tells you where to put your ability scores. It's an option. I mean, you don't have to. If you want to roll them and everyone at the table agrees, that's how you do it. So the book does account for that. But you can see here, standard array by class, if you're going by the book, this is what is suggested for you. Now, the only reason why I would have a problem with this is because in this case, every barbarian is a strength barbarian, is a strength barbarian, is a strength barbarian. Every barbarian's going to have maximum strength, a really high con. I have zero issues with non-optimal characters. I have zero issues with dump stat like prime dump stat characters, because it adds character. Now, this is skewed to just make characters. You're always going to have the highest number. You're always going to roll the highest number. And I guess in that case, then you're just playing a number generation game rather than a role-playing game. So we have class number 9, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are making a rogue. So our rogue is going to be 12 strength, 15 dex, 13 con, 14 int, 10 wisdom, and 8 charisma. And there we go. Hi, Kevin. Yeah. How are if you're just at badge pickup, and you have more daylight than I do. It's 9 p.m. for me. So greetings from across the country. I hope the travel went well and that the check-in will be a lot of fun. Kevin. If you're there and you can meet Batty, can you say hi to Batty for me? That would be awesome. Hi, Young Yeet. The rules, in super brief, the book is well organized. The book doesn't have a hard power creep. It has soft power creep enabled by a lot of spectacle creep. There are efficiencies in it, in language, or, there's a stripped down character creation, which some could appreciate. I do like that there's more art in the book. Whether or not people like the specific pieces or why they're in there, I'm not getting into that. This is a supplemental rule book. I think it's fine. There are things from 2014 that I do prefer, and not for the sake of of history or for the sake of tradition. I prefer the creativity or the or just the nature of what it was. And overall, when I say something like a power creep or a soft one, it's not that the ceiling of power went up or spiked in places. It's that the floor was brought up. So there's a lot more roll compression. There's a lot more roll compression. So there's a lot of samey feeling, I guess. Now, in a party, if everyone chooses something different, maybe that won't be felt. But when we were looking at the book as a total, there were patterns that were evident across all the classes and things like that. So, for what it is, it's fine. I carry the book in the store. We sell it. It is technically compatible with 2014, but if a table has mixed characters, that really needs to make sure that there's a distinction. I think that there are things that could be torn into for different reasons, yes. Now, I am not going to get emotional and tear into something. Even though I'm a friendly local game store, I have very strong opinions against the publisher. But I can also separate art from the artist, so to speak. And I think that the book is fine for what it is. It's a fine supplement. Obviously, from here on out, everything is going to be built around this book so that they maintain a new bounded accuracy. But if you stick around, Young Yeet, then we'll build characters and maybe you can get a feel for it as well. So it's giving us our ability scores. You don't like the capstone? I gotta be careful about... Not that it's a hot take. A lot of the complaints about the 2014 Ranger, I understand. That class plays differently than the other classes. Rangers are not a universally applicable class. Barbarians can be in an Arctic condition, a jungle, or whatever, and they'll hit stuff until it falls over. That's universal. A wizard will cast Fireball on a battlefield, on the back of a moving wagon, or wherever. That's more universal. Rangers are very specialized. And so I absolutely, and especially if you go Beastmaster Ranger, the way that you play the game is different. So I get why something like that, or honestly, the way of the Four Elements Monk felt different, weren't popular, or came across as weaker. This edition did shore that up by addressing some things, but I think that Rangers lost flavor for it. Does that make the Ranger bad in 2014 or 2024? No, absolutely not. It's still fine, but there's a lot that was lost in the switch up, because now Rangers are just another fighter. You're just a nature-based fighter kind of a thing. So you are more universally applicable. Maybe that caters to more people who don't need the highly specialized version. Or who don't want to worry about the things that were making the Ranger really attached to the setting in the world. Hey, Famine Siren. Yeah, most people play to level 10, and that's about as long as a campaign lasts. Very, very few, statistically speaking, anyway. Now, for all I know, you and your group, like mine, we go 1 to 20. It takes years per campaign. I'm the outlier. So most activity happens 1 to 10. That's the sweet spot. So, anyway, so this is giving us our standard array, which it's a standard outlay. A rogue is a rogue is a rogue. But this, yeah, you know, I get it, but I think that there should be more thought put into the scores to support who the character is, not what the character is. I like looking at people as people and not a collection of adjectives. I like looking at them as human beings and not human doings. That's my roleplay style. I mean, that's also how I try and treat people, too. Yeah, where you can swap damage for different combat tactics. All right, so we can adjust our scores after this, but we're still trying to lock in our things here. So based on our high trait, Young Yeet, would you please roll 2d4 in chat by typing exclamation point 2d4. No spaces. Exclamation point number 2, letter D as in doggo, number 4. Stops on 4 and 1. This is replacing the personality traits in the 2014 book. Now, are we going to go pure ability score improvement, or are we going to take some feats beyond our background? Pardon. Famine Siren, will you please type exclamation point 1d100? Also, it looks like Famine Siren plays to level 20 as well. Lands on a 15, so we're just taking all ability score improvements. Grogrin, I need you to type exclamation point 1d9. Exclamation point 1d9. Bat Espada, I'd like you to type exclamation point 2d4. And then standard equipment. This is something that that we forgot on our first character. With the 2024, you are presumed to have feats because the backgrounds need them. And it's also presumed that you have magic items, which the 2014 did not. On 43, there is a table about your starting level and then equipment and money. So we can go back to that first character and add some funds or whatnot to him. Well, it's nice to see you here, Grogrin. We're almost at the equinox when you will take custody of the sun back. Young Yeet says, just have to leave my highest level game because I'm moving country and the time zones don't work out. Rip Midas the Tiefling Monk. Young Yeet, then don't let him be forgotten. I want you to talk about that character and his adventures here. Even beyond being a Tiefling Monk, while those are certainly descriptors for your character, let's pretend I don't care about that, okay? What is the background of your character? Tell me about your personality traits, your ideal bond and flaw. Set aside the Tiefling Monk. That's a habit that most of us are in, is to just call our character race class. It's a tried and true method. It gets an idea across. Tell us about your character, not about the silly hats that your character wears. Who is this character? Hi, Iron Chef Lord. Grogran says, yeet, make him into a forgotten hero in your next campaign with permission of the DM. A little bit of homebrew can really bring the story to life. That's an excellent, excellent thing to bring up, Grogran. Now, we're starting at level 12. This is going to give us plus 5,000 GPUs. There we go. There's our GPU. And then we get 2 common, 3 uncommon, and 1 rare magic item. All right. Now we've been doing a lot of extra talking, and that's fine. This is a part of any table, of any group. You know, I'm not looking to speed run building a character, unless for some reason I needed to run something at a convention last minute. Then there's no need to speed through it. I understand having an efficient process like what is trying to be talked about here. Your character, though, more often than not, should be someone you care about and you do put a lot of thought into. Yeah, Famine, you are presumed to have magic items. Now, what they are is but you're presumed to have them. Alright, so let's... class number 9, actually. Oh, yeah, so that's Rogue. Well, here, I'll just keep that. I'll write that in all caps, just to make it a little easier to read. Rogue, and what is our second option for... What is our second option for Rogue? Our first is Arcane Trickster. Our second is Assassin. We are level 12. Experience points don't apply because I don't play with experience points. We'll write down the interesting things from this character later. As we look at the backgrounds, we have background number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In fact, here, I'll close this one window. Whoop. 6 is a farmer. Now, I will say that we took the quick... pardon. We did take the quick... standard array for ability scores. If we wanted to be even faster, this book also just suggests that if you're playing a barbarian, take this background because it gives you strength. So you can make a pretty quick stereotypical barbarian. I need to find... I think the chart is back here. So if you don't want to think about your character, which is, I don't even know why I'm saying that, because you should. Oh, we should get a trinket as well. Yeah, here we go. So because Dex, now we're going farmer. So the book isn't suggesting that rogues should be farmers, and that's fine. We'll break the book in this regard. But if you did just say, all right, well, I want to min-max and I want to be the completely what every other, the majority of rogues are going to play because they're all going to take max stacks, blah, 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 then, all right, I guess I'm playing just another rogue criminal. Now, you can play a fantastic rogue criminal and have a fun time, make memories that last a lifetime. I don't want to poo-poo on that as a mix of abilities, but when it's pushed as just don't think, make this because it's optimal, I don't like that style of character creation. So in this case, in our case, we are going to have a farmer rogue, and this is how we roll in this workshop. And could be undercover as a farmer. So we have a ninja, is what you're saying, Bat Espada. Because that's what ninjas were. An ex-pumpkin farmer blood hunter. What brought this character out of the life of being a pumpkin farmer to hunt blood? All right, so we know that we are a farmer. Now, for our personality, high trait was rolled as a 4. So we actually need to go back a little ways here. Or not there. It was here. High trait is Dex, and that was rolled as a 4. So our personality is poised. Our low trait is charisma. And so that would be 1, poised and pedantic. Now, our alignment was 3. And so if we go 1, 2, 3, we are chaotic good. And the book tells us that our personality for being chaotic good chaotic is our first 4. We are self-absorbed. And we are kind. Pardon. Too long didn't read, made a deal with the hag to save his daughter's life, but the hag stole the child. Oh, so you were able to rescue the child, but then the hag took the child in payment? Kind of pulling some fake contract BS. All right, so this is our personality. We are poised and pedantic. We are also self-absorbed and kind. Curse of Strahd games. Oh, no. Oh, young Yeet. Well, that's That's how it goes in Barovia. That's how it goes in the Wiki Wild Wild West. All right, so there we go. We have our notes down. Oh, actually, wait. What was our? Our race is 6. All right, so we have Esamar, Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, Gnome. We are a Goliath. All right, we're going to close this out. And I will move this over. And let's start filling in our... All right, Male Goliath, Assassin Rogue, Farmer... now, actually, even before we get to this, I like starting with backgrounds first. That's what I've always taught. I want to know who our character is before I worry about what our character is. So, let's go back. And without delving into the richer prompts in the 2014 book, we're going to come over here to Farmer. Strength, Con, and Wisdom are going to be our ability scores. How this works in 2024, you get, from your background, you choose to put +2 into one of these and 1 into the other, or you could put +1 into all 3. That sort of thing I like doing. I like putting ability scores last. Ability scores are some of the least interesting things of a character. I want to know who our character is, because that will help dictate how the abilities have been developed or are used. So for what I'll do right now, I will just put an X in Wisdom, Strength, and Con, so that we know we have these to play with. We get the Tough feat. While it is nice that it references Chapter 5, this would be better if it actually just put the page number. Alright, Tough. Your hit point maximum increases by amount equal to twice your character level when you gain this feat. Whenever you gain a character level thereafter, your hit point maximum increases by an additional 2 hit points. Alright, so we know that we're going to be adding 24 hit points. We're going to be adding, because we're level 12, we're going to be adding 24 hit points. We are going to get animal handling and nature. We're going to have tool proficiency with carpenter's tools. I'll write that a little bit bigger. Choose A or B. We'll choose A. This is such a weirdly... it's such a small thing. I don't like the choose A or B here. It feels... not... Anyway. So we're going to get a sickle, a set of carpenter's tools. A healer's kit, an iron pot, and a shovel. Traveler's clothes, and then we have 30 gold left over. All right. Now, in the 2014, we would usually get more out of the background than this. This is a place to go. We could ask, well, what did we farm? Was it pumpkins? Was it rice? Was it, or was it more like ranching than farming? Things along those lines. We'll keep moving along. So now let's head over to Goliath. We move 35 feet. Which, if they move 35, I don't see why dwarves and halflings couldn't, and gnomes couldn't move 25 again. Giant ancestry. You are descended from gigantes. Choose one of the following benefits. A supernatural boon from your ancestry. You can use the chosen benefit a number of times. Okay. Raven, I think you rolled this one. This is effectively our sub race. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Raven, can you roll a d6 in chat for me, please? And while you're doing that, I am going to report this bot, as all of you should do. Make sure to report it. Spam, scams, or bots. Bots. Soliciting. Chat to buy viewers with this message. And I'll drop the message. Ravenstar might not be here. Iron Chef Lord, if you're here, can you roll a d6 in chat for me? We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stone's Endurance. When you take damage, you can take a reaction to roll 1d12, add your con modifier to the number rolled, and reduce the damage by that total. Hi, Evil Intent. Fun fact, in 5th edition, rogues are probably the best tanks. Rogues are the best tanks, and Valor Bards are the best paladins. Large form, starting at character level 5, and so we are. You can change your size to large as a bonus action if you're in a big enough space. Lasts for 10 minutes or until you end it. For that duration, you have advantage on strength checks, and your speed increases by 10 feet. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So we have large form once per long rest. Powerful build. You have advantage on any saving throw you can make to end the grappled condition. You also count as one size larger when determining carrying capacity. Hi.
Are you the boss here?
Yeah, what's going on?
I have chemicals in my van that I use. I need my mop bucket.
Oh, I wish I could help you with that. I don't have keys to anything besides my offices here. I wish I could help you. You'd have to email David, I guess, and see what he can do. Because I've needed to have him come here to get a couple things out for me. Like, I still need him to replace these ceiling tiles I have up here that ended up getting like air conditioning or something. Yeah, sorry. If I could help you, I would, but it's 107 and 108 jingling on my keychain, and that's it. Well, on the front door too. But
At least the toilets are clean.
yeah.
I had chemicals on my van. I neutralized it.
Yep. Have a good night. All right, so there we go. We know we kind of know who our character is. I really think that we need to rearrange that. Going with the quick build on here is not going to work out, especially if we want to lean into the fact that we're this rogue and we have a farmer. So I think I'm actually going to backtrack off of this because I don't like this standard outlay. Especially because rogues can very well just be thugs or bouncers, or they can be tough guys too. And we'll get into that as we start adding what we're getting from being a rogue assassin. There's so much other stuff that was dropped out of the 2014 book. But that's fine. We'll make do. We will make do. Let's go to Rogue. And now we're going to worry about how our character interacts with the world. Alright, we're level 12, so we have a +4 proficiency. No, let's keep that strength for now. Let's focus on this. And our sneak attack is going to be 6d6. We have class features, so we'll split it right now into class and subclass. So D8. That means that we have 12 D8 hit dice. I'll try and do that. Saving throw proficiencies are Dex and Int. Choose 4. Acrobatics, Athletics, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Investigation, Perception, Persuasion, Sleight of Hand, or Stealth. I wish we knew a little bit more about our character, but that is for us to discover. If we knew that we're on a farm somewhere, you know, we work with carpenter's tools, I'm going to imagine that athletics is going to be important. So part of me is leaning for athletics. What's our personality? We are poised and pedantic. We're also self-absorbed and kind. So if we're pedantic, like, we're thorough, we're annoyingly thorough. It's not necessarily a bad trait. It could be grating to people. So how can we reflect being poised and pedantic? Maybe an investigation? Persuasion? Because... Hi, Delport. No, we haven't, Delport. So you are welcome to throw ideas out there. Going purely off the book, these are things that we are to think about. The only personality prompts that are in the 2024 are based off our high and low ability scores and our alignment. So we are poised and pedantic. We are also self-absorbed and kind. Pedantic and self-absorbed are kind of the same thing. Poised might be a physical thing, so it's probably acrobatics and athletics. Self-absorbed. Maybe persuasion, because that also gets into how pedantic we are. Because we're trying to convince everyone we're right, and we're going to bore them with every minute detail. Maybe the farmer likes to quote poetry, like Chaucer or Shakespeare. So I think then what we could do, acrobatics, athletics, persuasion, and sleight of hand. Sleight of hand to balance things, or to do little tricks with tools, or to, I don't know, juggle apples or something like that from the old apple orchard, or whatever, pumpkin patch or something. I guess that backs up kind of what we've been hinted at. Poised, pedantic, self-absorbed, and kind. Doesn't have to be about convincing other people. It's also the simple belief that details are important. That comes out in the way you interact with others, whether you mean to or not. Well, then perhaps investigation, so that we are in a better position to understand the minute details of things. Athletic, acrobatic, investigation, sleight of hand. Yeah, so pedantry can also be in delivering that lesson as well. Yeah, I think investigation's going to be better than persuasion, because you're not even trying to persuade people. It's not a very charismatic skill. If you are pedantic, that's not about persuasion at all. Weapons, we get simple, and then martial with finesse or light property. Thieves' tools. Proficient with light armor. And then A or B? I guess we'll start with A. So we'll take leather armor. Dagger times 2. Short sword, short bow. $20 arrows. And I'm gonna, in a quiver. Quiver with arrows times 20. Thieves' tools. Burglar's pack. And that has a whole assortment of good stuff in it, too. And 8 gapuz. So we have 38. Now, on top of this, because we're level 12, we are also going to get 5,000 gold pieces. And in our inventory, we also have common. Well, let's just do this. Magic items. Common times 2. Uncommon times 3. Rare times 1. Since you're expected to have these in the edition. Farmer assassin might grow flowers and herbs, including some poisonous ones, to use in killing his victims. Maybe he was a farmer in a time when troubles threatened the farm, pests, weather, warfare, maybe, then and left to pursue his fortune. He worked in some fashion to earn his way into a university, but found himself doing simple tasks for certain helpful associates in exchange for the funds he needed for school. Over time, those friends and tasks became more relevant to his future than the education he was struggling to obtain. Languages, we get... We will get Thieves' Cant. You gain expertise in 2 of your skill proficiencies of your choice. And at Rogue level 6, you gain expertise in... So we get expertise in 4 skills. Well, we have 6. Where should we be an expert? Unfortunately, the sheet doesn't have something special for that. So we'll just have to indicate that with something a little extra. If we do want to work with poisons, that's probably nature. We'll put an E here. Investigation, nature. Probably something like sleight of hand. Animal handling would be interesting because we could also... that could come into play with a lot of our things, honestly. But I don't know. Let's see. We... Poised and pedantic. Self-absorbed and kind. Part of me wants to say athletics, because we can do a lot of things for people if we're strong and we can help out. I think those are going to be our 4 areas of expertise. Now, if you all out there have a different idea, please do share it. Put it out there as we're going through this. We do get sneak attack. And we're at 66 at this level. Languages, Thieves' Cant, and we also get 2 others. Delport Breckland, can you roll 2d12 in chat for me, please? In this edition, all characters get common and 2 other languages. And so we'll generate what those are. Oh, this is even Thieves' Cant and 1 other language of your choice. It's just exclamation point 2d12. There's no R or roll in it. Oh, 11 and 13. That's Delport's choice. So we have 11 choice. And if you want, that could be from the uncommon language table as well. And then we're going to get one other one. Grogrin, can you give me a 1d12 while I go to the languages table? So we can speak Halfling. We can speak Halfling, and then Delport. You broke reality, so you ended up with a a 13 on a D12. I don't know how you did it, but you did. But that's your choice. You can choose one other language, and if you want, that could even be a rare language because it's your choice. So that if you want the expanded list: Abyssal, Celestial, Deep Speech, Druidic, Infernal, Primordial, Sylvan, well, Thieves can't, Undercommon. Our first character was a Druid, so we actually had Druidic, Orc, and Common, and then I think we ended up getting Sign Language. That we were talking about was sort of like trail marks or something. I suppose we could have chosen Dwarvish because it was also a dwarf, but as you do. But yeah, Delport, choose a language. And Grogrin lands on 12, so we speak Halfling, Orc, and then Delport's going to tell us our other language. Giant. Okay. Then we get Weapon Mastery. Allows you to use the mastery properties of 2 kinds of weapons. You can change this every long rest, so this doesn't necessarily matter what we choose. We just know that we are getting Weapon Mastery times 2. You just need to choose what they are. It's sort of like picking your druid spells for the day. I don't know the circumstances, so we didn't fill out the spell list. I don't know what we currently have mastered for our character, but we can master 2 of them. Cunning Action. Your quick thinking and agility allow you to move and act quickly. On your turn, you can take one of the following actions as a bonus action. So we have... Cunning Action. We have our subclass, Steady Aim. As a bonus action, you give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn. You can use this feature only if you haven't moved during this turn, and after you use it, your speed is 0 until the end of your current turn. ASI, that's what we're going to take in addition to our stats. So we'll worry about that later, since stats are one of the last things that I worry about with a character. Cunning Strike at 5. These are things that you can do where you deduct damage dice from your sneak attack, and you're kind of like a battle master fighter. And so you deal less damage, but you have some extra options in combat. And this is kind of getting into what I was talking about with roll compression. So if you don't have a battle master fighter, you can have a rogue, and you'll get kind of a similar martial, like, tricks in combat character. I say that neutrally. That is neither, like, super awesome good or literally the worst thing ever. So Cunning Strike is going to give us poison, trip, and withdraw. To use this effect, you must have a poisoner's kit on your person. So that's something else that we would have to pick up. We also get Uncanny Dodge. Evasion at 7. This is why rogues are excellent tanks. Reliable talent. And improved cunning strike. Up to 2 per attack. So we're not quite there for devious strikes. All right, now let's learn what our goodies are for being an assassin. You're adept at ambushing a target, granting you the following benefits. You have advantage on initiative rolls. During the first round of each combat, you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn. If your sneak attack hits any target during that round, the target takes extra damage of the weapon's type equal to your rogue level. Surprising strikes. And so this is plus 12 damage because we're rogue level 12. Disguise kit and poisoner kit proficiency. Infiltration expertise. Your speed isn't reduced to 0 by using steady aim. That's really good. Masterful mimicry. You can unerringly mimic another person's speech, handwriting, or both if you have spent at least an hour studying them. Well, that's from practicing all the bird calls out in the field, right? and venom weapons. When you use the poison option of your cunning strike, the target also takes 2d6 poison damage whenever it fails a saving throw. This damage ignores resistance to poison damage. There we go. All right, so now we need to add our ability scores from our background. That's +2 to one and one to the other, or one to all three. And we can choose strength, wisdom, or constitution. Now, going by the book, this was the recommended, the recommended standard array for a rogue. And I'm torn because we should play with what we have. But also, this is why I don't like I don't like having a class with 4 options and backgrounds just be shoehorned into a standard array. I do think that charisma is good at being a dump stat. I don't think we're very charismatic. I almost want to swap out strength for dex and be stronger. In fact, probably if I did, we'll keep it. But if I was choosing, and we will for our next character, I would go actually maybe 15 strength, 14 dex, 12 int. I would still keep con kind of high though. I think that's important for this character. But as we can choose 2 and 1, let's add 2 strength and 1 con. That'll get rid of this, and then we are getting 3 ASIs, 4, 8, 12, and we rolled to take all stat bumps. So in this case, I think that we should bump up. Let's bump strength to 17. Then we're going to put another 2 in dex, which is going to bring we're going to put another ASI, 1 into dex, and this other one goes into strength, because having a higher strength score still should have some mechanical benefit. So if you're ever left with kind of a dangling one of those, like where do I drop a strength score increase, throw it into your strength score, because then you could carry a little bit more, you could do a little bit more in that regard. I'm fine. I don't think we need to max dex right now. I think we have someone who's not afraid of being in the mix. So either increasing constitution, which would make sense given how much poison we handle, and we're a big old farmer's boy. I think, we've eaten some grain in our day. I think going con or int is going to be. Oh, actually, you know what? We actually get an extra, because we're a rogue, we get an extra ASI at, yeah. Oh, no, wait, we do, oh, we don't as a rogue anymore? Hold on. Did I miss something? No, 8, oh, yeah, no, 8, 10, no, yeah, there we go, 8, 10, 12, 16, never mind. So fighter gets one snuck in. Rogue does not here. ASI at 8, 10, 12, 16. So never mind. It looks like we just get 3. Do you think that we should put that extra 2 into con or int? What do you think makes good sense here for this character? We're kind of building a bespoke character, Delport. What I mean by that is we're going by the book. We're going by the book for this one. And so the book just gives you quick build. The book gives you the book even, I mean, the book can even suggest if you want something optimal, here's the backgrounds that give you strength. So if you're playing a barbarian, take a strength background also. I didn't go that far. But we're going by the book and just putting a standard array where it told us to put a standard array for character creation. Go int? Alright, so yeah, we'll go 16 int. You know what? This character can actually say, if it wasn't for that horse, I'd never spent that year in college. Bonus points to any of you who get that. Alright, that means that we have a +2 for strength. We have a +4 for dex. We have a +2 for con. We have a +3 for int. We have a +0 for wisdom. That's fine, we're self-absorbed. And a -1 for charisma. Alright, this is +2 saving throw. Now we're an expert in athletics. So that is going to be +10 to athletics. Stealth is 4. This is going to be 12 for sleight of hand. And 8 for a saving throw and acrobatics. Con, just a straight up +2. Intelligence is a +7 saving throw. Arcana, history, and religion are going to be 3s. However, we're going to have +11 investigation and +11 nature. Wisdom's going to be pretty easy. We have a +4 to animal handling. And everything else is going to be a 0 down the line. And charisma is going to be just a straight -1 all the way down. So there we go. There's our... Oh, you know what? I didn't have that up. There's our skills and saves. Here's all of our goodies. Initiative... was that a flat bonus that Assassin gave us? We have advantage on initiative rolls. So we do only get a +4 with advantage. I'll just put AV up there. Size is medium, but we can make ourselves large. Passive perception is 10. Passive perception of all the passives is probably the most used. I also really enjoy passive insight because that's just your natural BS filter that people have or don't have, or passive investigation of just, I don't know, figuring things out. But keeping with what's on the sheet, we have passive perception. There we go. Now, for our hit points, we are a D8. We are a D8 hit point class. So we get 8 plus the other 11 levels times 5. That's half plus 1 of our hit die. That's taking the average. Your table might vary. Maybe you roll every level, or your DM wants to really try and kick your butts, so it tells you to take max hit points all the time. I don't know. Plus 12 levels of 2, and then as we're tough, we add 24 to that. And so here's our total hit points. This is going to be 24. And this is going to be 55. So we have 48. We have 56. And so we have 111 We have 111 hit points at level 12. Don't have a shield. AC, if we're using leather armor, that's a +1 plus all of our dex. So our AC is currently 15 with leather. I'll put 15L for leather. But we are owed a budget of magic items and things that the game is going to presume you have by level 12. So that could wildly change. That could wildly change. You know, or any of them attunement. Well, there you go. We haven't spent any money. We have 5,038 gapuz. Nothing to really worry about spellcasting ability modifier or DC. There we go. We have a heroic inspiration. Yay. And here's our character. We certainly had a lot of questions to ask, as this version doesn't have as many prompts. I think we still have, you know, maybe an interesting idea of a character. There's a lot of extra homework that would need to be done, which is probably going to get done anyway, or otherwise if you're just playing at a convention and you don't care, you could just bang out a character super quick, make it statistically average to everything else, and there you go. But here is a level 12 assassin rogue, and then what we're going to do after this break, we are going to make a character using the 2014 exercises, and we're going to interpret the backgrounds with the 2014 book. And we're going to see if that gives us a little bit more wiggle room or a better time imagining the character. Yeah, and it's also non-optimal. This is a non-optimal character, and I think that this is still that this can offer a solid build, and you can have fun role-playing him. All right, anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to save this, open up a new sheet, and let's come back, and we will build using our 2014 adapted workshop, which is, it's mostly the same, but we're going to interpret the personality traits through the backgrounds of the 2014 book and see if that has any difference to how it felt building this character. That's for science, right, everyone? For science. Be right back.